Hi, everyone. Welcome to a new episode of Anoki Uncensored, airing for free on the world's #1 South Asian radio station, Ruckus Avenue Radio, on the iHeartRadio app. Just download the app and search Ruckus Avenue Radio. Episodes air every Tuesday at 7 p.m. PST and 10 p.m. EST. You can also watch the episodes on the GIRN YouTube channel and the Anoki Media Facebook fan page. So hop on over to join both now. I'm your host, GIRN, coming to you today with a special guest, Mannu Sandhu, who is the festival director of the International South Asian Film Festival of Canada, iSAFF, taking place this September the 25th to the 29th in Surrey, British Columbia, a place that I've never been, and I have been trying to come out to your festival, sister. I am keeping my fingers crossed for next year. Thank you so much for agreeing to come on. Mannu, before she says hello, I just want to tell you a little bit. What we're going to be doing today is we're going to be talking about why she decided to start this initiative, how it's developed over the relatively short time it's been in existence, and what to expect this year, guys. Please welcome my girl, Mannu Sandhu. Sweetheart, thank you so much for agreeing to come on and share your story.
Hi, Raj. Thank you for having me on Anoki. And I know I'm trying to get you to come here, and I'm going to have to give you a 1-year invite, a notice, so you can save the date.
Oh my God, I can't wait, sweetheart. That will be my first foray over to the west side of Canada. I cannot wait. I've heard wonderful things about it, but I have heard wonderful things about iSAFF. So before we get into talking about that, let's set some context. Tell me a little bit about your background. Let's share that first before you started the whole iSAFF initiative. Let's start there.
Yeah. Well, I moved here from India at the age of 14, and I never knew I was going to be in the film business or movie business or on the entertainment business at all. As growing up, my dad would be like, "You're going to be a cop, you're going to be a police officer." And that's all I remember him hammering me as a kid, manipulating me to be a certain, person. And
oh, what a cool thing.
Yeah.
Most people are doctors, lawyers, engineers, and here you are, you've got a cool dad. He wants you to be a cop. How awesome is that?
I want to share the word he would say, right? He would say, "Thanedarni." Like, he'd be like, "You have to be a Thanedarni." And I'm like, what is that? I don't even I can say that word. So he would literally say, "Be a Thanedarni." I'm like, okay, like when I can learn that word, I'll say it.
I love it.
So it was really fun. And I got to study political science and criminology in school. So I did take that way. I know, being in law was really something that I was looking forward to. And I worked as a correctional officer for 7 years.
Wow.
And it really molded me into the personality that I am right now, the person that I am. So I really am really grateful to work in that sector. And after that, I was like, I need to focus on what I really love doing. So I started modeling and acting at the age of 16. So I was kind of really into it at a younger age. And it just happened to be that when I was looking for kind of like a pivotal moment in my life, I was looking for something different. I wanted to get out of the business from the government sector and get more into the private sector of business. And Agam Darshi, who you already know, was already running this festival for 2 or 3 years at that point. And she wanted to move to LA at that point. And it was a perfect transition for us. It was a perfect transition for us at that point. So and I always tell her, I'm like, you gave me the crown to wear, but you didn't tell me what it came with, what duties and responsibilities it came with. And so I really got to learn on the job. I got to learn on the job. I'm a very people's person. So getting people into the room was easier, but not knowing how the structure of the festival worked, So I've really learned this is my 10th year with the festival. So
wow.
10 years go by really fast. And we're at a place right now where one of the largest South Asian film festival. And when I talk to filmmakers, from the time we started, they have done projects and they've come to me and said, "You have made this happen at your event," and me not even knowing that, it could be a high they said to somebody and now they made a connection, and now all of a sudden they're doing a short film or web series, a film with them, So it's a really exciting time. as you know, for South Asian as artists, it's a really exciting time to be South Asian right now. We're being celebrated all over the world. We're being celebrated in Hollywood. So such an amazing time to be here. And our theme this year is Crossroads, where people can really integrate and work with each other and elevate each other. I think that's what we need. We really need that positive reinforcement in our lives at this time, and this festival is there to provide that for the talent that comes.
Oh my gosh, you've just unpacked so much information for everyone. So let's break some of this down.
Yes.
When you decided to take iSAFF over from Agam, what was it that made you feel that this was something that you needed to step into? Let's tackle that piece.
I worked as an actor at that point. I had done 2 films that were under my belt. I worked in Punjabi films. So I knew I wanted to be in the industry. And I'm also a very business-oriented person. So I looked at it and said, is this a big opportunity in terms of getting into the film business, learning about the business, getting to know people, and then them taking me seriously, when it comes to signing things or signing contracts or signing the movies that we want. So I really was in a place where I was really young, and I'm like, is this gonna be another thing that's gonna enhance my appearance in front of the arts and culture, and will people take me more seriously then? As you know, in the industry itself, when I was in the business, we didn't have this South Asian filmmaker or artist celebration like we were having it right now. And it is because of the people that paved it for me and the ones before that. So people in the last 30 to 40 years that have been in the industry have really grinded for what South Asian is able to really take in today, So it's all the work that our generations before have done. We're reaping the fruits of that now,
And
when
love
I was
that
in
you
the
shared
industry,
that.
yeah.
Can I tell you something? I'm glad that you shared that before you carry on, because paying homage to the people that came before you and realizing that you have certain advantages that perhaps they didn't have, and knowing that, paying that forward even from your own perspective to help artists, creatives, people that are in this business to be able to then maybe also do the same thing for the following future generations is a really great legacy to move forward with. Like, I'm very proud of you, sweetheart, for sharing
Thank you,
that.
definitely. And I want to acknowledge, and we bring them to our festival because they're the reasons why we even thought that we could be in the film industry, So it's really important for us to recognize people that paved our way so we can sit here and talk about that. So sometimes when I see a lot of South Asian artists that are doing so well and they don't talk about this, and I'm like, no, we're here because somebody fought for us, somebody went to war for us to have this position today. I feel very blessed that we're able to, get to that. And yeah, so when I started off this festival, it was a 1-day event, and it was 150 people maybe that came to the room, and I didn't realize the power of the festival itself. I said, well, I only sent an invite to this many people and this many people are showing up. Wow, this thing has power. And after that, we got some really great celebrities that came and endorsed it. So had a ripple effect, I always envision myself to do a TIFF in Surrey, that's what I want. Like, that is what gets me excited. Like, every day I look at it and I like look at what TIFF is doing. I'm like, that's such an exciting way to celebrate arts and culture and the community itself. TIFF is a perfect example of what I want to bring to Surrey. That's what we want. That's how we want to celebrate artists and also have the really commercial big films that come to Surrey, and we really put on a show for them. That's what excites me a lot.
Oh my gosh, I love it. So you talked a little bit about, this, being your 10th year, like you've hit a decade with this film festival. Can you share some milestones along the way that kind of made you feel that you're on the right track? Like, when you look over the 10 years, what were some of those successes that you've accomplished that you were like, I know that this is what I'm meant to be doing?
I think I would really say, you're gonna laugh at this. Anytime I say I want to quit, like, I don't want to do this next year, that is, I feel like a milestone, because I've gotten to the point where, like, it becomes so much work, the entire organization, that I'm like, why am I doing this? What is happening? Why is this growing so fast? I'm not able to handle it. So every year I feel like I have that self-talk and I'm like, fine, next year I'm going to take it easy. I'm not going to go all out. And then the following year, it's even bigger. So,
Wow.
those are the milestones I've hit now for the last 5 years where we've grown so much in partnerships.
Yeah.
And the pivotal moment for the festival was also to kind of like just let go of the control of the festival itself and let other leaders also tell me like, hey, this is how we should do it. And this is how. So taking leadership from other leaders really helped me grow the festival itself. Like our programming team lives in New York, in LA. Our programming team lives in LA. Our creative director lives in New York. We have people from pretty much all over North America that are guiding me and coaching me to be like, hey, this is what you need to do. So really not being like the player where you're like, I know it all.
Mhm.
Always be open to ideas from people, always be open to collaboration with people. That's what's going to help you grow. And those are pivotal moments in this festival we've been able to have in the last 5 years.
I love what you just shared there, because a lot of people who, get into these roles of responsibility, right? They fear failure. So what they do is they control, right? They go into this micromanaging control avatar of themselves, where they become the person that tells people what to do, rather than stepping into true leadership, which is what you have done, which is
Yes.
to place the right people who are brilliant at what they do and trust that you've made the right decision in, putting these people in place so that they can truly help the festival get to that level, that if you were to micromanage versus support them to do their work, what a different place you would have been in. Perhaps it
Oh,
wouldn't have grown as fast as it has in the last 5 years.
I totally agree with that. And that's the leadership I want to bring for people that are working with us. They're all my partners. And I always, whenever there's something that's wrong that's happening in the organization, it's not going my way, I appreciate them 10 times more because they're making me realize that this is something that needs my leadership to enhance that department. So that's what I've seen in the last few years. And even this year, because marketing is so different and there's so many things that, like, social media is so different now. Everything changes by the minute. Like, if you're looking at anything to do that goes viral, everything changes so fast. So as an organization, you need to change just as fast. So I think
Absolutely.
just really, fueling your people that are working with you instead of putting them down. Let them know that they're doing a great job every time, because that's what's going to help them make the mistakes and then learn from them. Let them know, okay, this is something that, maybe I wasn't looking for something like that, but explain to them that it's best that you take the skills you have and don't overpromise, and then also find people that can help you. So that's what's kind of worked for the organization as well in terms of leadership, and every person takes the same leadership in the organization.
I love that. I love the culture that you've created in your ecosystem. And clearly it works because of all of the tremendous success that you've had in these years where you've kind of been sitting at the helm of this. So when you look across the stratosphere of the last decade, and you look at all of the different personalities that you've had that have come and support this, when you look at all the sponsors that you've been able to garner over the years, share some of that with us, because
Yes.
I feel that it's important that people understand truly the caliber of this organization and what you've been able to accomplish with your team.
Definitely. I was so new when, one of the biggest directors said yes to us. Anurag Kashyap, the second year in my festival, he said, I want to come. And I was like, wow, how am I going to deal with this? Like, he's a really big name. And the people that sat in his workshop, I'm telling you right now, these individuals are doing big things in the industry. One of the companies called Dunia Media, who is a post-production company and a production company in LA and Vancouver. Like, they have places in both of these sectors. And it excites me so much because they were at that first very little workshop with 10 people that we hosted with Anurag Kashyap. He's probably like, where have I come? Like, in India, there's like thousands of people that can come and see me, and you're giving me a workshop with like 12 people,
How lucky were those 12 people, though?
And I'm telling you, I probably can search, they're like our alumni right now. And there's two of them that are doing brilliant work right now. And I'm so proud of them, you know. So that is something that we were able to do at such a young age in the festival. Another big milestone is RBC coming on board with us. You know, right when a big corporate bank comes on board, the whole trajectory of your association with people change. You know, you have now an open conversation with so many more people that want to come and help you. So that's really helped us out. Warner Brother Discovery Access, like I didn't even realize that they would help out at such a large program that we're having right now. Like they're creating a funding program for us. There's a really big news for RBC that's coming as well, and they announced it at our pre-launch that they're starting a film fund for us. You know,
oh my gosh,
it's an incredible way for us to now support the artists that want to do projects. And another really amazing sponsor that's been behind us is Kwantlen. It's a Polytechnical University, Kwantlen Polytechnical University. They have been behind us for such a long time. City of Surrey has been behind us because I want to make sure that I am giving them all of the exposure they need through our organization and vice versa. So these are kind of our 4 or 5 really big pillars. Another development company that's helped us in the last 3 to 4 years is Allure. And they are one of the ones that are building all these high rises in Surrey Central. So Surrey Central is going to become a hub for entertainment. That's where people are going to come in the next 10 years. Right. So that's what we're reviving at this time.
Oh, this is so exciting. And, you know, it makes me feel so good that, you know, the creative arts industries are being respected and valued to this level where people understand that there is business to be had in these industries. And, you know, off the top, you mentioned also how we're really sitting in a powerful place as South Asians today because we're everywhere, right? And, you know, we've been talking the last few years about this just incredible renaissance that the North American South Asian community is going through, how so many people in all roles, all roles to do with entertainment, you know, in front of the camera, behind the camera, financial support, storytelling, writing scripts, like it's where we have our hand in everything now, which is why we are able to tell the stories that we tell and that we are able to tell true and honest and viable stories about who we are as a community as well, and not the version that used to be told of us when we didn't control the purse strings.
Yes.
Right.
I totally agree with you on that. There's another couple of names I would like to tell you right now that have been really big backbones for us is Telefilms, which is a federal government agency that works between the film industry and the government. They've been big supporters. Canada Media Fund has been big supporters. And a new, well, they're not a new production, but a production that is based here in Vancouver. They're called Lark Production. And you must have heard of them because they did a premiere with us and in Toronto called Allegiance. And they have portrayed Surrey as Surrey in this TV series. Like, when does that happen? We're always known to be, the scene is in LA, okay, but it's happening in our backyard in Surrey, but it's portrayed as LA or Toronto or in New York, you know? So it was really nice to see that CBC picked up that show, showed a South Asian woman as a powerful role in the woman as a leading lady, which was Supinder, who we all love, as you know.
Yes. I've interviewed her a couple of times. She's fantastic.
Yeah, so having a series like that coming to Surrey, being able to portray Surrey as Surrey was amazing. Like that was sort of that breaking point for us where we're like, okay, we can be known as a metropolitan city all over the world, you know, all over North America right now. People can look at us and say, oh, that's Surrey, okay. So it was really nice to actually work with them. And those are the 3 sponsors I really wanted to mention. And I have knocked on Telefilms and Canada Media Fund's doors so many times and made them understand that we need that limelight that you're giving other organizations. We also need it. So I think out of the 10 years, 5 or 6 years have gone to them where I'm constantly going, hello, I'm here. How can you help us? What can you do for our talent? We have 56 films and you haven't funded any of these films. Like really having that one-on-one conversations with the funders and making them understand that we're paying a lot of money into the economy right now. We buy a lot of stuff. So that's why when you talk about big South Asian events, like Diwali has become so big for North America right now. You know, if you look at everywhere, Diwali's become such a big industry where people can make a lot of money. You know, companies
Mhm.
can see that, so they're doing so many Diwali campaigns throughout. So it's really nice to see that, you know, we're able to be a big part of the economy growth within North America.
Absolutely. And you know, before we actually get into talking about what to expect this year, which is the big highlight, I'm excited for you to share with everyone. Can you just maybe share any ongoing challenges that you've faced at the helm, in addition to what you just shared now? Is there anything that you'd like to share, and perhaps ways that you may have, you know, tackled them and come out the other end? Because I feel that, you know, we always talk about the successes, and we
Mhm.
don't oftentimes, you know, really share with people who are watching, listening, and reading truly the challenges that you've had to face and overcome. Share a couple of those for
I think
everyone.
for the first of all, the thing is that a lot of people, a lot of companies, a lot of organizations might not understand that we're not a 1 day, 3 hour event. We are not something that you just come to and, you know, be entertained for and have a drink and leave. We are a 5 to 6 day event. Every
Wow.
day takes, you know, incredible time, an incredible amount of time and money to produce. So a 5 day event for a small team, like I'm working from last year to produce this particular event, and I'm so excited that we're here today. And I am going to take this whole week to now just do operations. I've already told everybody I'm stepping away. I'm only doing operations at this time. So
Mhm.
the biggest challenge is to make people understand that we're not 1 day event, we're a 5 day event. We're happening in 6 to 7 different locations. The logistics are
Wow.
incredible, you know. So get to know our organization, go to the website, understand the
Mhm.
schedule. How does things work for a festival? Why is it important for a city of Surrey to back up a film festival that's South Asian? We're bringing the most incredible stories that sometimes you'll see at TIFF, you'll see at cons, you'll see at Berlin. But I am pulling my team to be like, bring it to Surrey, because I want my culture, I want my audiences, I want the mainstream people to see all of this, you know. So I think that is the big challenge, to get people to understand that this is not just a one-off event. This is here to stay. And we have worked incredibly hard for the last 1 full year to make the program happen. Like our programming calls can be like 2 to 3 hours sometimes, because we're working on one film that we want to bring here. The
Right.
logistics to that one film sometimes drain the whole team, you know.
Yeah, I
So
understand.
yeah,
So
so
let's
that is,
talk about that then. Let's
yeah,
let's let's go there. You've tapped into that a little bit. Let's
yeah.
go there. 6 jam-packed days
Mhm.
of film agenda.
Yes.
What can people expect? Break it down for everyone.
So this year we're doing something really exciting. Our programming team that lives in LA were able to tie up Bentonville Film Festival that is owned by Gina Davis. And
Wow.
they're coming here to do a filmmaker retreat for us on the 25th of September. And this doesn't happen overnight. This took us a very long time to get here, get a stamp from them, you know. So
Mhm.
they're bringing a really big artist for us, which I will announce to you, but you're only able to announce once it goes into press. You
Yeah.
must have heard her, because I think we're from an era when South Asian faces were not that common to be seen. She's from the UK. I don't know if you want to take any guesses.
Oh my
she's
God,
a
tell
she's
me.
okay. It's Archie Punjabi.
Oh my gosh. How did I not even think about her?
Yes, yes. So
Wow. And
she
she
is
is an incredible talent.
she's an incredible talent, and I'm so excited that we were able to lock her. We worked on everything that we can in our power to do everything at this point to get her to Surrey, you know. It's a very exciting time for us. So she is going to be sitting in a room with 80 people, 80 individuals that we're going to have, who are from the film fraternity, that are filmmakers that are coming from all over North America and Canada, sit in the room and have sort of a one-on-one conversation, hear her out, hear her story. And that is what Bentonville is producing with us as a festival retreat.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
a big wow from me, girlfriend.
Yes. So it's a very exciting time to be at the festival this year. I'm so happy that Bentonville is helping produce that for us, because again, having a Hollywood festival back us up gives us more
Mhm.
credibility, and
Yeah.
that's what people want. You know, there's
Yeah.
always this big confusion about like, oh, where do you guys really stand? Okay, well, these are the partnerships I'm making for them to
Yeah.
come here, for us to do business in this city. So
Right.
very important event for us. Another thing that I'm finding it very, very hard. I'm a Punjabi woman. I'm a super, Desi at heart. I love all my Punjabi movies, Hindi movies, all of that, music, dancing. And there's a big battle where I cannot get in the Punjabi business to come into the festival. Like they shoot here a lot. The music industry shoots here a lot. So it's making them understand that this is creating business and eyeballs for the industry. So this year, for the first time, if everything gets locked, and you can announce this probably this week as well, if you look at our social media, we have a Punjabi film premiere with the cast of Punjabi artists coming to the festival. And this took me 10 years to do.
Wow.
Yes. Punjabi artists were finding us just too Western for them. They were saying, oh, like this festival is not really Punjabi. And I'm like, this is happening in Surrey. It's called South Asian. We are the biggest South Asian face that's there in Surrey. So it is your festival,
Yeah.
So making them understand, making the industry understand that aspect has been a big challenge for me, even till now, being a South Asian woman, being in the entertainment business as a front face has been a big challenge. And I discussed this with you because people are so used to having men in these positions, in these leadership roles where they dictate, this is how we want things. And it happens so fast. For a woman, it takes so much longer just to get here, whether it be sponsorship, whether it be private money. It's just such a drag for me to get them in here and still show them, like, still try and show them so much value. Like, hey, I'm doing XYZ from ABCD to XYZ, whereas a male will say, okay, well, you come in here. This is how much we need. And it's done.
Yeah.
So that
I agree with you.
That has been one of the things in our city as well. But I'm so blessed to also have these corporate leaders that are men that are behind me as well.
Right.
So it's also negative and positive. So I'm kind of stuck in the middle of it. But it's a beautiful discovery for me because it just makes me stronger every time.
Perfect. Well, we are getting ready to close off our episode. So I want people to get what they need to get from you.
Yes.
What are, you've got film premieres, you've got workshops. Share like a few of these different things that you're doing, in addition to what you've already mentioned. Like any major like film premiere that's happening. You've mentioned a couple of workshops, because then let's move into telling them how they can grab tickets. And
so I'm gonna say this right now. I'm going to tell you exactly how many world premieres we're doing, Canadian premieres and North American premieres.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Because that's very important for people to know how many films we're bringing. So I'm just going to look at my notes and tell you exactly. So this year at the International South Asian Film Festival in Surrey, we are bringing 18 world premieres for films.
Wow.
So these are the films that you're going to see in Surrey for the first time. There's 18 of them, not one or two, there's 18 of them. We're doing 7 North American premieres. So that means that these films have been showcased internationally, but nowhere in North America yet until we present them. And 23 Canadian premieres that are South Asian stories, South Asian talent filled with our stories. I don't know when we've done this last, in terms of 23 Canadian films that are premiering here in Surrey that weekend. So it's a really exciting time for us. We've brought in 2 TIFF films this year that we went after full on. One is Boong, which is an international film. It's a Manipuri film. And one is Shook, which is from Toronto. I'm sure you've heard of that, with Amar Vala. Very excited to present these films at our festival. We have a Biz and Tech event that's happening. It's called Make It in Canada. So if you're a filmmaker and you're like, well, I want to make my next film, I want to make my first film, you need to come to that event, which is happening on the 27th. This year, we're also doing fashion and film. Why is fashion such a big part of film? Why are we so influenced by that? Another really key event we're doing. And last, I would say we're doing a music event, which is the 28th, another big milestone, because films have fashion, music, entertainment, all 3 jam-packed together. So we're trying to cover as much as possible. And our last night is going to be the closing night. And our biggest thing that happens in the city is our Purple Carpet Gala, which is happening on the 26th. So lots of fun things. That's why going on our website and knowing our schedule is very important.
Absolutely. So let's tell them where to go. Where are they going to get this? And can they also purchase tickets for all of this on your website?
Yes. So if you're a filmmaker, you want to attend everything, there is a film pass we're doing. So it's a full package deal. You get to attend everything that you want. That's on the website. And there's also single tickets. So our website is www.isaff.ca, isaff.ca, where you can find all the information. I would also say come on our iSAFF Canada Instagram page, because we are keeping everything on there. All the excitement is happening on that page right now.
Oh my God. I love, 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 love. I can't, oh my gosh, I just feel major FOMO. Like I'm going to miss it. It just sounds incredible. What you've accomplished with your team is outstanding. I don't think that I've been to a film festival that has this much diversity in offerings when it comes to any of the South Asian film festivals, and I've been to all of them.
Yes.
So kudos to you. Congratulations on this. And as a woman that helms a media company, I can absolutely attest to the fact of how hard it is to get sponsorship support because I'm a woman and because I'm South Asian. So I am very proud of what you've accomplished. I think it's incredible. It's noteworthy. And everybody that is watching, listening, and reading this, you got to support this. If you can go out and purchase those festival passes, please do so. Even if you can just go to a couple of films, do so. But most importantly, share with everyone that you know that this festival is happening, right? Go support the festival online, share everything that happens throughout those days, because it's going to be jam-packed. And the other thing is what final words, Manu, would you like to leave people with who are kind of sitting on the fence and like, oh, well, I'm not really sure if this is for me. What would you want to share with them to get them to jump and leap forward and come and support this festival in Surrey?
I think the one thing that I would like to say is that artists are something that make us feel things. They make us feel happy. They make us feel sad. I can watch a movie and bawl my eyes out right now. At the same time, I can laugh my butt off. These people we work incredibly hard to put projects together. So come and watch them, because if there's not an audience, whatever work they've done, it doesn't mean anything. You have to have an audience. It's like, why do we appreciate being happy so much? Because if we didn't have sadness, we wouldn't appreciate being happy so much. So for us to for filmmakers to appreciate what they've done, is they need the audience to come see it. And I think that is my final thought to you, is that come and support these filmmakers, because you're only gonna enhance their work overall. When they go to big festivals, they're gonna say, well, we went to the premiere in Surrey and it was house full and we got so much excitement. So I want to be able to give them that feeling. So coming to the festival, you'll help us create that feeling.
Absolutely. What wonderful words, sweetheart. Thank you so much for coming
Thank
on
you.
and sharing your incredible journey and just the incredible things that you and your team have accomplished. I genuinely wish you much success with this and many, many more years to come, sweetheart.
Thank you. Same
mean
here.
that.
And I can't wait for you to be here next year. We're going to be bigger and bigger every year. And I'm going to book your date off now.
Absolutely. Just absolutely, sister. I will be there to support you. I'd love to do something with you on stage, whether I'm interviewing someone, whether there's a workshop or something.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll collaborate on
you have
something.
so many powerful women there. I think the fraternity needs to come to Vancouver and visit us.
I
That's what's
agree.
going to happen.
So we're going to make that happen next year, sister.
Definitely.
Okay. I adore you. I thank you so
you.
much.
Thank you so
I cannot
much.
wait to see you next time. And Anoki, as always, will be there to fully support you. We'll be sharing the stories. We are proud media partners of this incredible film festival. We love what you guys do, and you never have to convince us to be a part of it. It's like I get an email from your guys' team. I'm like, yes, 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 and yes.
That's the sweetest thing. That's the best. Thank you. And I do not take that for granted. I'm telling you right now, because it doesn't come easy to me. So what you've said, that you see an email and you agree, that is like, it's music to my ears. I love that. Thank you.
Absolutely, sweetheart. We are here to support our community in every single way, as we have for the last 2 decades. Guys, I will see you next time on Anoki Uncensored. This is the end of this fantastic episode. It's so good. Please share it with everyone you know and stay connected with us everywhere at Anoki Lifestyle. And don't forget to sign up for our free weekly newsletter at anokilife.com. Go hang out there as well, because we have Anoki Magazine's blog that shares everything that's going on intimately across North America with our community across all different industries. And, you guys know we come here every single week to share these stories because these stories are palpable, they're powerful, and they empower our community and the next generation to step into their greatness. That's what it's all about. Right, Manu? That's why we do what we do.
Yes, totally with you on that.
Absolutely.